You are welcome to Badagry, the historical and ancient town in the whole of Nigeria. And here in Badagry, there are a lot of sites, historical places, and monuments that you guys will love to visit. Currently, where we are is the Moby Slave Relics Museum. And this is the museum you'll be seeing the chain, the shackles, the slavery instrument used during the period of slavery. The chains and shackles you'll be seeing in over 500 years, because during the period of slavery lasted in Badagry for 400 years. The trade was finally abolished here in Badagry in the 1888 with the help of a man called Chief Sumbu Mobi. The man died October 16, 1893. We also have another museum in that compound called Brazilian Barracoon. Now, what is a barracoon? A barracoon is a Spanish word meaning a slave cell where they used to keep the slaves. There are 40 rooms inside the barracoon, and in each of the rooms, 40 slaves are kept in each of the rooms. Minimum of 1,600 slaves are kept in the barracoon for 3 months. Before the arrival of the slave ship, they will now move the slaves out of the cell, across the port, across the Lagos Port Novo Lagoon, down to a place called Point of No Return. The reason why it was called Point of No Return then was because once the slaves were being moved down to that island called Berefu Island, they will never come back to Africa. So the departure of slaves from Africa to places like Cuba, Jamaica, West Indies, Australia, Brazil, Barbados, Portugal, Americans, it took place at the slave point of no return. We also have the 4-story building in Nigeria, here in Badagry, built in 1845 by Reverend C.A. Goldman. We have Badagry Heritage Museum, we have the Vlekete Slave Market. So there are 4 museums along the shoreline of Marina. Then we have the slave market about 5-minute drive from where you are parking your car. And lastly is the slave point of no return. To have access to the point of no return, this is a lagoon. The other side of the island is Atlantic Ocean. So we have to cross this lagoon with a boat and a life jacket. When you get down from the boat, you'll be walking on the same path that slave walked for 400 years, making 6 museums. So those are the numbers of sites that are visible for you, the tourists.
To burn on his head. And this is the umbrella. One slave will carry this umbrella on Seriki's head. If by mistakenly the umbrella fell from the slave and they behead the slave immediately. This is the picture of Ooni of Ife and Oluwo of Iwola in this compound. And this is the picture of Yemi Osinbajo when he came to visit to see the only surviving umbrella for 40 slaves. Yemi Osinbajo. And now, this is the only surviving umbrella for 40 slaves. The only surviving umbrella for 40 slaves. So I want one from this group and one person from your side to come and lift this umbrella up. Yeah, somebody. You fast?
Sorry, because of my
You fast? From here. No, don't touch the cloths.
from here.
Yes. That is the umbrella. So you tell them how light the umbrella was. So somebody
not
from
light.
inside.
You want to go through it?
So it's not light too.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe it's my bones.
Lift it up.
Oh my gosh.
It's heavy. Are you sure?
Yes, it is.
Good. She said it is heavy.
Yeah.
So, and you said it is light.
I said it's not light.
It's not light.
Yes.
Okay, that means it is heavy.
It's heavy.
Good. This is wrist chain used for 2 people's hand at a go.
Yeah.
One right hand of one man and one left hand of the other person. And this is for ankle shackle for 2 people's leg as well. They carry this for about 18 hours on the plantation. And yes, and they have just only 15 minutes to rest. Mind you, the slave ate once in a day and they drank water once in a day. They gave them 2 slices of bread to eat. While the fresh water inside a big bowl, they asked 50 of them to drink at once. If that water finished for that day, that is all for the day until the next day. So now, before we go in, this is the handwriting of Seriki. The handwriting of Seriki. So
Let's go.
these are the ceramic bowl for 10 slave each. And this is the brass dish. The highest made at them from Vienna in 1873. The tea jug and the tea cup. And this is the cooking pot of Seriki, the water pot and the water jug whenever you want to drink water. You can see the small window I told you about. That is why some of them suffocate inside here and die because of the heat and the odor that they perceive inside this cell. Some of them suffocate here and die.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Afternoon.
Welcome to First Story Building in Nigeria. It's also called the Mission House. It was built in 1842 to 1845 by Reverend Charles Andrew Gomer. So, in this compound as a whole, we have various structures in this compound before, but they were all to built with wood. We have the school headmaster's house, the video shelter, the carpentry workshop, the kitchen, the toilets, and we have the mission house. So the one we are into now is called the mission house. So in this building we have 6 rooms in total and 3 stores. So this one we'll be going into the 6 rooms and we explain more on the rooms. So this is the first room we'll be seeing, and in this room we have the material used for the construction of this building. This is called bond brick. It's used on the walls and the floors of this building. This is called hinges. It's used on the doors and the windows of this building. And all these materials I'm showing you are all imported from England. It's only this one that is called African wood, because it's an African wood. And this is used for the deck, the windows and the doors of this building. We have these nails that was used when they were constructing this house. So this was the roofing sheet that was still present on the roof up to date.
Solid, yeah.
So let's move on to the next room. Over here we have this historical Adia tree. Under this tree in September 24, 1842, Christianity was proclaimed in Nigeria and in Badagry precisely. And under this tree, Christmas was also celebrated in December 25, 1842. So this tree lives in the midst of the former community market in Badagry before. So the tree lived for over 350 years before it fell. After the falling of this tree in 1959, June 20, they built this monument in replacement of this tree. And up to date, we have this monument there where they celebrate Christmas every December. The room of the first Western teacher in Africa, Mr. Gladys Phillips. This was the man that taught 40 men on 2 subjects for 12 years, English and CRS. And when the school was still in this compound, it was named the Nursery of the Infant Church before it was moved to its permanent site now in 1845. It's now called St. Thomas Primary School. St. Thomas Primary School is in Badagry. It's not a government school and is still in existence. So why did they need education? When the missionary arrived, they were like, okay, let them communicate with these people. But the people of this community, entire community, were not able to, they did not understand what he's saying, so they could not communicate. They brought about the education so that they can communicate. That's why they brought the education. This is the map of this building as at 1853. So like I told you before, I said there are various structures in this compound. The only one that we are still having now is the wall and the mission house. So this is how the church, this building were before. The street you pass through, this is it. The water side was their plantation, their garden. So this is the mission house that we are into now. This is the school headmaster's house, the boarding house, the church here, the carpentry workshop, the interpreter's house, and the mission, the kitchen and the toilets. So this is the room of Bishop Samuel Ajayi Crowther, the first black bishop in Africa. When the missionary were coming to Badagry, he played the role of interpreter in their midst. And when he arrived at Badagry, this was his room. So he completes the translation of the English Bible in this room in 1845. They took it down to England and they helped him in binding and printing it out. And here we have the very first Yoruba Bible in the world and the first English Bible in Nigeria. This is 179, while this is 182. So I like how I went to Full Arabic College in Sierra Leone. He was able to translate English Bible, not only English. He translates English Bible into Yoruba, into Nupe, and into Igbo language. We know as Abat Macaulay.
Macaulay.
This is the last thing we'll be seeing in this building. This is called Save. Here we see some old currency that was spent back in Nigeria. This is the very first currency spent in Nigeria, cowrie. Before the introduction of Manila. This is the second currency in Nigeria. Before they introduced the coin currency.
Wow.
Oh, thank you.
How do you see it now in the name, in fact?
Name this well as Miracle Well. And why did they nickname the well as Miracle?
The civilization before slavery. So in 1640 to 1750, Japan divided the West African coast into 4 coasts. And each of the coasts were named after what they found from each coast. The first one is called Grand Coast. The Grand Coast is present-day Sierra Leone, Gambia, and Guinea. While the second one is called Ivory Coast. And the third one is Good Coast, that's Ghana. The last one is the Slave Coast. The Slave Coast is Nigeria and Benin Republic. So Nigeria and Benin were called Slave Coast. Although it's practically from all the West African coast, but most slaves practically from Nigeria and Benin Republic.
Oh,
So
okay.
the is called Slave Coast. And here we have the roots, the trade routes. So this is the movement of the slaves, interland. How to move them down to the coast area of the sea. The white slaves. These are the white in North Africa. The Tripoli, Morocco, Arabs, their slaves were taken through the Sahara Desert to European country. While these were taken through the Atlantic Ocean, European country. That's why this one is called Trans-Sahara slave trade. This one
Trans-Sahara.
is called Transatlantic. slave
Transatlantic.
trade.
That's
And
Africans.
this one, they opened their slave naked for the buyer to inspect each of the bodies.
Oh.
In Ghana, by using exchange for 40 slaves.
For the slaves.
Why the Belgian regime to 10 slaves. The umbrella for 40 slaves. So these are the changes. You've seen the changes.
Yes.
This is how they torture them.